Coming your way on today's Philadelphia Eagles now, we're going to talk about two free agents still on the market who have not been signed yet, who have been linked to the Philadelphia Eagles and could be good fits for this Eagles defense. Before we talk about those individuals, want to hear from you down in the comment section here. Howie Roseman, wheeling and dealing, aggressive in trying to improve this football team as he always is. So grade the Eagles free agency so far, A, B, C, D, or F, let me know. And with that, let's talk some birds. I'm Chase Sr., and this is Philadelphia Eagles Now by Chat Sports. Thanks for being here with us. So many content options out there. So anytime you come kick it with us here on the program, we appreciate you. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that for year-round coverage of the birds. One of my favorite free agent targets for Philadelphia, former Broncos safety Justin Simmons. Right when he got let go by the Denver Broncos, talked about him here on the show. And I talked about how he'd be a great fit on this defense, team captain, ball hawk, good instincts. The Eagles have a need at that safety spot, and he's been linked to the Eagles as a good fit. Maybe ESPN watches the show. They'd be smart if they did. ESPN linking Justin Simmons to the Eagles, saying that he'd probably be the best fit among all teams who are suitors for Justin Simmons so far in NFL free agency. Here's what ESPN had to say. The last veteran, former All-Pro, Eagles enlisted to help save their secondary, did not work out in Kevin Byard. He'd been trending downward in 2023 before Philadelphia traded to acquire him from the Tennessee Titans. Simmons, despite being roughly the same age, is coming off a third straight All-Pro season. His presence would help maximize CJ Gardner-Johnson's versatility, allowing the returning Eagle to work as a safety or in the slot. He'd also push Reed Blankenship to a rotational role player for which he's better suited and give Sidney Brown a chance to shine. He may not be a long-term solution, but Philadelphia needs a short-term fix. With what Christian DeAndre said about Justin Simmons, I agree, right? And just because Philadelphia signed CJ Gardner-Johnson doesn't mean it takes them out of the running for Justin Simmons. If anything, it makes your defense better, and it helps fortify that secondary even if you don't make a move at cornerback, which I do think Philadelphia is going to address in the NFL draft because some of the upper echelon outside corners, they can play. And I think that they can play right from the jump and get significant snaps as a rookie. And the point of CD Deuce, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, becoming a little bit more versatile, I like that. Use him as a Swiss Army knife and a chess piece, Vic Fangio. And then for Reed Blankenship, if he's a backup safety who's a really good tackler on some of those defensive schemes, coverages, nickel, where you want some more defensive backs in that secondary, Blankenship can be there. Hybrid linebacker. Sidney Brown could do a little bit of the same while he brings you the physicality as far as that aspect to your defense. So there are a lot of different things that you can do, and I think being malleable is really important. And Vic Fangio has shown that he can be adaptable. He can be flexible with how he utilizes some of the players on the defensive side of the football. And what a joy it would be to watch Justin Simmons play for the Eagles. We're talking about a four-team, second-team All-Pro, leads the NFL in picks since coming into the league in 2016, allowing a completion rate sub 64% last year, 3 touchdowns, 8 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, quarterback rating 85.9, but the consistent theme here, especially if you can get after the quarterback and get pressure with that front, when the quarterback doesn't have time to throw, it's him turning bad plays from the quarterback into positive plays for the defense, which results in points for your offense, and that's what Justin Simmons does because he can read the eyes of the QB. And if that QB is under duress, he's going to put the ball up for grabs, and what happens then? Justin Simmons into his awaiting arms. It's going back the other way to the cribbo. More on Simmons, third-round pick in 2016. So the pedigree has always been there, a 2-time Pro Bowler, a 4-time second-team All-Pro. 4 of the last 5 years, he's been added to that list. 2022 interceptions co-leader alongside CJ Gardner-Johnson. 2 ball hawks at safety for Philadelphia. Gimme, gimme, gimme. And when The Eagles have been at their best when I've been alive. Brian Dawkins, safety. Malcolm Jenkins, safety. They've had really, really good safety play. So with that, what do you say? Eagles linked to him. A lot of people think it would be a good fit. They have the money. Should the Birds sign him? S for sign, P for pass. Let me know how you're thinking about this down in the comment section right now. As for Calais Campbell is a fascinating player because he is 38 years old and he is a mountain of a man. He is 300 pounds and he is 6'8". That's wild. Now, some databases have him under 300 pounds. Either way, let's say he's 280, 290, 300 pounds. He is 6'8" at that size. And he can push the pocket a little bit. You need a defensive tackle after you lost Fletcher Cox. You have young guys in there right now. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter, Milton Williams. Do you bring in a veteran here? Here's what Bill Barnwell had to say of ESPN. The only thing Campbell hasn't done in his career is win a title. While his defensive line coach in Baltimore was Joe Cullen, who serves in that role for the Chiefs, not a great fit for what Kansas City wants to do on the defensive side of the ball and what it needs to add after re-signing Chris Jones. The Eagles, on the other hand, in addition to the Chiefs, will play a fair amount of 3-4 under Vic Fangio and need to supplement their defensive line rotation after Cox's retirement. You know general manager Howie Roseman doesn't need an invitation to sign a defensive lineman, and he doesn't. And even though Calais Campbell is older at 38, played last year for the Atlanta Falcons, before that with the Baltimore Ravens, still played well. 6.5 sacks in 2023. 10 TFLs. We're not talking about him being a starter. We're talking about him being a depth piece and a veteran for some of the young players to learn from. And Williams, Carter, Davis, they need another veteran to help them out because Fletcher Cox is now gone. Insert Calais Campbell on the cheap, has an opportunity to chase the Super Bowl as well. This past year, 56 tackles, 10 TFLs, 6.5 sacks, 17 quarterback hits. And it's not like his play has gone downhill as his age has gone on the uptick. 6.5 sacks this past year, 5.5 in 2022, 1.5 in 2021, but 4 back in 2020, and the pedigree that he has been in the league for a minute. Second-round pick in 2008, a 6-time Pro Bowler, been one of the best at his craft in a long time. He's played in different schemes. One time, a first-team All-Pro, 2 times, a second-team All-Pro, and a member of the 2010s All-Decade team. So we're talking about moves here on the defensive side of the ball because you're set on offense. I don't think you need anything on the offensive side, like the offensive coordinator. Like the skill position weapons. I like the offensive line. Jalen Hurts has to get back to how he was playing in 2022. The concern with this team is defense. Do you think Calais Campbell is washed? W for washed, N for not washed. Limited sample size? Still has some juice in his legs, I think, if the Eagles were to sign him. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. This is Philadelphia Eagles Now. Hope you've all been enjoying the content throughout free agency. The numbers say that you have, so thank you so much for your support.